Hello, I am Laura at Laura Talk Softer, and this is part 2 of a video that I started this morning. Let me lower this TV. I am so sorry. Anyway, I was walking around in circles like I do in the morning for my morning wake up thing, and I got up early like I usually do, but it had. So I was walking around in circles sharing a story that had happened yesterday evening. So today I am making this video right now. It is Tuesday at 2:20. I'm squinting. I squint and I have glasses on my head, right? Makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so I had a situation where I got a call last night on my phone, and it was like, I could tell like it was a number that I didn't recognize the number, and it didn't have a name with it, but I answered it, and it happens to be somebody who's in my contact list. So I don't understand how somebody can be in your contact list with a name, but it doesn't show the number, but that's another story. Anyway, so it's a sister of somebody who lives in the mobile home park that I have my mobile home in, and she knows that I have befriended her brother and have known him for so many years, and she knows that me, myself, my mom, he's met some other members of the family that we all care about him, and kind of I see him as family, like a brother from another mother type guy. And he is 71 years old, and he has pre-existing medical conditions. And I think he's a very vulnerable person to be living by himself, and his abilities maybe to make good choices and stuff like that. But, that's life, sadly, for many people might not be in the best living conditions. But anyway, his sister, who's a very lovely woman, lives very far away. She lives on the East Coast, and he lives here, and he doesn't have any immediate family. So she was concerned because she hadn't heard from him and didn't have her usually weekly check-in kind of Sunday call. So she's calling me on Monday, like evening, getting worried and wanting to know when I had saw him. So that's what I'm talking about when I'm walking in circles on the part 1 video, if you see it. It's kind of like almost processing it. Sometimes talking and looking at myself. It's my own therapy, like, Laura, you look red again. Why? And, I'm thinking about coloring my hair. But anyway, so what had happened was, so I said, well, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to check on him. And she had told me that, Laura, I don't want you to go in the house. If you don't hear anything, I don't want you to go in the house. I don't want you to find anything, And I'm just thinking, oh my God, she's thinking like possibly he's passed away, which is totally possible because we can't figure out when the last time anybody has seen or heard from him. I know it was like last week sometime I had heard from him. So anyway, I was able to get in the house, and I had said in the other video, but I'll just repeat myself because I had encouraged her to allow me to put a lockbox on the outside of his house because he had had a problem before. And instead of having to break into his house, it would be so much easier to have access to get into his house, or if he locked his keys, because it had happened, he had misplaced his keys before. And then he wanted help. And he usually will, ask me sometimes for help, which I'm totally open for, certain, yes, I can help. So anyway, I like banging on the door, hello, and I'm not hearing anything. And I'm going to the side door banging. And then I could hear him literally, yeah, I'm in here, I'm okay, and I'm like, well, your sister's worried about you and I need to get eyes on you. I mean, I don't play with this kind of stuff. I know what it's like. My mother is a stubborn woman. I feel like my mother would do something like this, so I am used to that kind of, I'm okay. And you could be on the floor, half unconscious, and you're going to say you're okay. That's the kind of, I'm used to that kind of behavior. So that doesn't work with me I'm okay behind a door. I need to see eyes, I need eyes. I said, I need my eyes on you so I can tell your sister you're okay. So I'm talking, through this door. And because I'm Laura Talk Softer, I can talk through plenty of doors where I'm heard loud and clear. I think the neighbors heard me. But anyway, so he said, well, I just come back. And I said, why, what's going on? Well, I'm having a hard time getting up. I said, I'm coming in. So I got the lock out of the lockbox. I open the door and I walk in, and he's behind another door, a bedroom door with one of those like closet doors that you can't get into, just by turning it, but all it takes is like turning that little thing and you can get in. So, it's not like I'm some kind of lock. What are those people who pick locks? But I got in and he's on the floor. And his place is hot. It's an older mobile home. It's hot. It was warm yesterday, but a mobile home will get 10, 15 degrees hotter sometimes, depending upon the insulation, and he doesn't have air conditioning. So I would have guessed it could have been mid 80s to 90 in his mobile home. And so I had already called 911 when I opened the door because, when I'm saying to him, okay, come out of the room, and he's telling me, well, just give me time. I can't stand. And I'm like, no. And so I found him on the floor. The fire department came really quick, and their fire department paramedics, they came, and I told them, who I was, that I'm a kind of former neighbor, and I know him, and I know some of the details of his stuff, and I have his contact information and that kind of stuff. And I was able to relate to his sister that, yes, he's alive, And so they took him away to a hospital that's not all that far from here. I'm around two big kind of hospitals, actually. And so I was able to check on him today. So I went to the hospital and checked on him today. So that little picture of the hospital scene was a lady outside of the room. He's in a room with I think 4 patients, 4 beds, I think. But I was able to get eyes on him, and to what I feel is very important, if you have any friends, loved ones, anybody you care about, especially somebody who is kind of like him, where he doesn't have family around, to, make sure that they know that there is somebody out here that is watching and cares about somebody. And I'm not trying to go in there and tell them how to do their job, but this isn't just some transient that has no connection out in the community that's been picked up and brought in. And I wasn't sure the level of his cognitive abilities, because he already, not that I can diagnose or I'm a professional to diagnose, but I do feel, his sister has conferred that he's on the autism spectrum. He sometimes has a hard time really maybe communicating what is important and he gets real distracted. There's some attention deficits. I kind of relate to him in some ways because I feel like I get distracted too. But so he is somebody who will talk so much about politics or certain topics and over and over and over and over, and he doesn't stop. So I knew this man is cognitively okay if I go in and ask him certain questions, and not the typical, what day is it? What's the year? What's the whatever, certain things that I knew that if I ask him and get a certain answer and a certain reaction and a certain look, then I'm thinking his brain, that's him, And so I was pleased to see he is himself. That made me very happy. The whole thing is very, difficult because, we got to care about people more. It's difficult because we need to care about each other more and need to watch each other more and watch your loved ones, and that's all I want to say about it. So far he's doing good. I know things can change. I mean, he's somebody that has a health history and he's of the age, and we're all of any age, anything can happen. So I know that I may go in there and maybe he won't be there. I mean, I'm hoping for him to have a full recovery. He seemed coherent. They had him hooked up to stuff. He's on it seems like a regular medical floor. But they were trying to get him stabilized or whatever with his blood sugars and all that kind of stuff. And he was able to finally eat. They had him where he wasn't able to eat anything or drink anything, and they were just giving him IVs, and he was quite upset about that. So that was like, okay, there, he wanted to eat, and that I think is always good. But I don't see how this man can come home to his home and the being able to provide that self-care for himself and have the judgment. And so I was able to talk to his nurse, and hopefully she'll relay it to a social worker that this was somebody that I was outside his door and he was telling me he didn't need help. And that to me is so frightening, that you can be on the floor in the condition he was in and say that you're okay, come back in a little while. That's not okay. And because he was on the floor, we're not sure how long, because it can be confusing when you're on the floor. Was it a day? Was it two? He has some extensive pressure sores, bed sores on his bottom and stuff on his back, and, dehydration and all that. So it's like I'm going to keep an eyeball on him. And so I'm going to be seeing him tonight, and that'll be part of my included routine for my day. And I'm going to keep an eyeball on him. And I hope that if he moves anywhere, they keep him within my community, because you do. If you have somebody that's in a hospital that or in a skilled nursing facility, or in a whatever memory care, all those kind of places, you want to be able to have something set in place where people can get in there and just kind of see what's going on, because I feel, and it's not to put down hospitals, I worked in a hospital for decades, and well, maybe that's why I am the way I am with this. I got my eyes on them, and it's like I already feel like too many people are discarded like trash sometimes. And to me, it just, whatever I can do or say to make it seem apparent that he does have people that care about him, and please take good care of him. All right. Peace. Have a good day.